enche ye ni penny a was in Ghana or Dr. Kojo Asante Bedin come on this particular matter. But see there yen konia a dear duane to it and yeah affect your duane on the table. Base pay and minimum wage. Over base pay increased by 10%, minimum wage 97 pesos. What say?
Yo, near 10 say
Memo 3 minutes.
Yeah, Ghana aban edwuma yefo. Yase afem ye pa. Esa ne se wiase de yenim se obia ebobra ekonanim. Na ne yenim ne se anda NDC de ebobra ekoyechi. And say ohwe increment in salary base pay year. Yase efi baby ena ekodru baby. In 2017 aban foforo bae a ye nyina yenim se at that time na ne man ko ye kura no Ghana edwumayefo enya about 12.5% ewo base pay no ewo Ghana man mu ewo their friend say their base pay increment ye didi so a ena ye di bedru 2024 be kwa wie no na yanya increment be 24% and as 25% e honomo na this will be
2024 na 23 but no obi beka say was an outlier
near here and say increment no aba
okay
yen Ghana adwumayefo your expectation say
no
ye per increment say I outlier say nya outlier near our record mu say o ma increase it by that percentage point and at the time near was say itimi ede no ye de Ghana for energy ye now it is the expectation say abanya omotisi one of the tools are omode campaign here sa enema we cost of living and sa enema no enti Ghana for ajetum ye to aba ede ma wo it is our expectation say ye bebo bra na yeden akoyenim na enche bia na ye kote ye say omo ekọ negotiation table na ye ni agi ye pa sempanyimfo ekogina ya nan mu akoka ya asema amaye na ebia from 23 and as 24 no ye de end 2024 no ebekeka akọ enim anase anye hwe kura no ye be maintain at that level said be ya Ghana adwumayefo ye ho ebe henhan ye ye ko negotiation table no ba economy team ni ye keka ka ho ba ye be ya announcement I say 10%. Enti ama apprehension ewo krom Ghana aban adwumayefo ama yase afem ye share ase afi 10% there wa bra ye end 2024 with about 23 or 24% there na say ya bobra ya den akoyechi and that was not the expectation ye de to aba edema aban we enti wo hwe oni adwumayefo ni bi kasa ase omo ya no omo hu bi se sebe decision omo take on the 7th December no ya hunt back at them enti ye de 10% base increment no eyade a ankoye amayen Ghana adwumayefo ankoye amayen kora we expecting say anya hwe kora no ye be maintain to the level ye de wie 2024 we were not anticipating say ye be san akoyechi na say 10% na ye de share say de and the aban we ebe wie omo 4 years there na ebia ye be wie at 13 or 14% because afibia anticipate the back open on the back home move 10% maybe next year more the back back on 11%. The third year back on 12 na ye dey 13 na te say baby na ye wo no assassin eti ayeden abayechi na debia enema bo ko na ekosoro
okay
enche bia lorry fare ebetum petrol bo anya akosoro be premiums within the first 2 months enema bo there enyina baby a ejina na yeko negotiation table na adwumayefo ye ne aye output anase ye input e de a certain level of output beba na Ghana man atumpo no ye momu na ekomode ye de kom ekọ adwumamu a megidi ye say your level of productivity no ebeba form but I believe say the government could have done better baby a omo share say free it is an invitation to a lot of agitations on the labor front going forward. Mijidi esenka almost started from an appreciable percentage. Create a certain serenity within the labor front. 10% idea. we are expecting a lot of agitations in the labor front.
Okay.
Within the next few days.
Okay. All right. Medasi. As na meba hon, ma men kwa homa so na me ne Dr. Kojo Pumpuri Asante. And ending come joining via Zoom on the CDD town hall say bebaswi. Ma dinka catch order that say idea say politicians ever pay a vote about be campaign tours. We need you thank you tours. Now mobile hub expectations there. Kojo Dr. Kojo Asante. Good morning to you, sir. We have a call there.
Oh, good morning. It's TF4.
Yo, TF4 so that's it. Now, Jumedi about the botany see any sooner eden.
I said, Pepper should be, I said, if about one now, Obia, Apofi, try the next election. But yeah, nine him said the enemy new king. The reason I kwakwo to aban say pese yi aban no o ba be adwuma na ina no ye ho atoye na say bibi na ye fo say atosin a obetumi correct ti adwuma bebre wo honom in between election na ya na yi oman no aye say ye ja say adwuma no ama politicians. Therefore, so once I had to abandon the politician, no, dear, as so cocoa, ye, my, na, a beboy, no, yes, but this obey. But democracy, the judge massa.
Okay.
The reason why, yes, so you're citizen, or say, making sure, say, mandate now, or the man, obe bohum by.
Okay.
Obe making sure, so you're vigilant. Obe making sure, say, buy no the oil, no, sir. Ofo say ade oye na nya obekire wadwe tem na say correction bi na say happen na happen na nya say ye betwen na fidade na say no a achia no ayentimi enye hohwe no na fide ya ba ne abaka say ene yentu ne fa ban foforo ba ono so ba na so be the same thing em say o manfo no omo na omo hu bekire omo all through that time eti na ya dwene say ye abai fro yi abai omo ye manifesto or new promises be brain near there. But the reality of governance, they say oba na behwe o president o cafes o behwe sika wo behwe the real situation of the economy near there ansana obetimi aye bibia obetimi aye eti esi yetimi na ye shia na ye start so chair about na ni o ma say na moka o can say 24 hour call can say near there your expectation is oba the obey no any say na aban no etimi enya guidelines bia and as a guiding a way a obetimi ni o man no etimi deliver the ehia beboa ye na eti the any person ye no call ye call regional forums the town halls say town halls ye nya obi a no betimi abanti any Adom for yakabom say betimi broadcasting no live ye betimi aye hu dede na obi a okro ntimi mbata ho no ono nso betimi tie bi even create me nso a channel drink later the discussion ekoswa so that early stages government ye hihye bebre no na omode no nso aye advice na arrangements so ye no na omaye na ye na no a benefiting
okay
yeah no nti na ye town halls no and ye try say be no very early by for abe.
Okay, but what is the assurance say me de madwen treba ene na esi mani so a mani so ade ehunu na ma be kire no mpasa aban ebefa no de aye adwuma
yo me da se da ese ye da so yeti ase say say the kanina no obi a kire na adwen doesn't mean say wo adwe a wo kire no obi befa ebia nipa bebre betro adwen bia the same way na you so okay about for bebre ne ya na beboa say dancer wo maba wo mu a obi a be say we plan we better thing ba ko no eti emfa enti the fact that we bet you no so doesn't mean say once our child the no one is here if I see na dream one cause yeah e be boa here the important thing is at least also ubet me do ideas about because e be another idea no and the best but she and say we town halls now selected 10 regions but special town halls so for very specific issues and the constituencies it is member youth no share demography your population say no more majority and na some unemployment issues near there bebre I see a team more special attention and man so as and so person can and just recently that exchange near there pensioners aged elderly see almost some a big issue I say it and persons with disability. Apart from that 10 selected in a 4 special ones and no you focus on these constituencies I say almost assembly we no near national stakeholder meeting.
Okay.
And no na you reports now several years from regions in special areas no now you the amabai. Now you use as a reference point say some say and omano for a church of Madrid as a year corner a bishop say a new money be over no ma a buy a year. The be a because a important to say we are MPP and now we are NDC and now belonging to party B and our candidate support say a buy a year buyer now buying a banner or yeah juma a beboy na okay until they hear and say if they make sure say a buy no or yeah a fata and now the way they hear and a beboy and your job as citizens there you shouldn't leave it one day the citizen on call holiday even one day okay. Because the taxes that you know every day no near there no so making sure say wow
okay
it will be say it's okay
okay Dr. Sante medase sana pe what many year din komo na on 25th yes we be ho na ahwe say bibia etumi akoye thank you so much sir
medase
Dr. Kojo Pomponi Asante a penny I was CDD Ghana now to send in common Gov't. Know your time now.
Yeah, I'm the my brother Kasano also Ghana. I strongly disagree with him. And I think that you see I try not to put politics into this thing. I strongly disagree. Now I disagree on the fact a principle that how did we get here? Hosi then and a year bedroom pempen try. How did we get here? We enyama President Mahama ye nyina puntujumo ye nyina. Or you saw one oil well. We used that money responsibly to develop 2 more and added it to the one. This did not, the 2 new one didn't even give us $1 of revenue before we left power. And here's my MPP. Before we left, because of this, now World Bank, IMF, and what have you had all projected that Ghana was going to have a very strong growth of 8% in 2017. In fact, he said 8 to 9% in 2017. Indeed, Ghana, we had an economic growth of 8.1% in 2017. Our debt to GDP was 53% when we handed over power. Today, our debt to GDP is over the moon. If we say we won't do anything, we won't pay anybody, we won't construct any road, we won't do anything at all, the money is not enough to pay our debt. That's how bad it is.
But on internet, more 10% here.
Let me finish with let me get to where I'm saying. when we were leaving office.
But still, I can't before me try them to be
But okay. Yeah, for office. Ena fitting chroma na bredo. Akwapim. Jamahama na mamodu oba ne we. Ekawa yezi na no ye 120 billion.
Okay.
This year alone. Ekawa ode abanu tua ye 142 billion. That's the money that we have to pay just this year. So if you compute, sika yebo tua wa busia wa bangoti yo. Sika yebo tua ofiti in this year kept in 2028 within 4 years Mondays was amena. It is 709 billion Ghana cedis.
Now oye busia wa bangoti anaze the busia no account no da exchange rate and so fluctuations.
And I make sure that account no da hon what training 120 billion.
Yes.
Sika ye tua this year ngoti. Ye tua this year ngoti. Them sika no timutua da account.
I'm only asking for education there. Oye more boy another bia account no da exchange rate.
Exchange rate. Debt servicing in total. Okay. Servicing the debt in total.
Okay.
Quite a whilst year 142 billion to service debt to service. Don't forget, there are actually 4 ways with which we can pay debt. We can raise money. Drawing from Bank of Ghana, government deposits from Bank of Ghana, domestic bonds, treasury bills, and external sources. As we speak to you now, based on IMF conditions, what's our main? One was the we only have available to us treasury bills. This year, the second quarter, they are opening the window for us to domestically borrow in the bond market. You remember the haircut?
I read there was what we call the international market soon. Yeah.
When we go to international market, we are only restricted to the multilateral borrowing, which means you can't have a direct borrowing from government to government. Anytime borrow directly, you have to. Or then it's kind of free IMF and World Bank and them African one them institutions, you know, and order is kind of and sika yejeno. The maximum we can borrow externally, 250 million dollars. I mean, that's woefully that. It's not even enough to pay for the debt. Meanwhile, consistently, what the MPP has done consistently, and consistently paying there, they always have a huge deficit in budgets, which they borrow both for capital and recurring expenditure. You normally do your borrowing for capital expenditure. But once it, what about the
that's fine. But let's stay on the base pay.
And all these things, no. Na you maybe what boom na ama my more amnesia said yamaya marking no tells you that we have a problem in this country. So the Ghana ohia ya kwa ahonhahem enti ehun de omanpanyin nankasa ona oti prunity
Yeah.
Oyin labor and negotiate on catch one day. Sikanes or why and she is a bomber one. Nemum, this is the situation we have. Okay. In fact, he described Ghana as a crime scene. Situation is say make a day. May 20% what have you are. I'm not helping, we all have to cut. And also share one body. And there, they be a yebeka there. The ordinary Ghanaian on them street to do Nnawotwe on a cat no. Tatting your bed. Why tatting your bed? One bed time, one team woman, a banner loosenism. Why a pampo? Also, I end them do. See, and a banner sort of cut. And you see, I think one of the biggest things, most prudent things that have happened in our fourth republic, and probably since we became a republic, is the way we celebrated this Independence Day. Last year, I'm told it was...
last year, the economy, as we say, the finance minister said it was recovering, and I'm sure they're recovering around a year with me, but they were able to give around 25%. So about no different, although 10.
No, my catch order. Finance minister can recover, no. I can recover in 2023 before I can recover in inflation year for 30, the highest. 38.
2024.
No, my catch order. Getting into 2024, no, that's the inflation we entered 2024 with. It's almost 40%. If you understand even how interest rates are computed, you know there's an inflation premium before you add on risk.
But now you're 44. Now we're living around 23. Then things are getting better.
No, we're living around 20. We're living, they left it around 23. You're right. So, but you see, in 2017, it was 12. You see, I'm just trying to tell you that, what's it, as Santofu was saying, what's it, say, what do tintini to 2 moti, or tintini to 2 motia, now on patinting be.
Okay.
One cassa, what creative problem, no? I did a 38. Now the about 23 hours here, millions of mouth. Now, as I say, the American has said, why am I say, it'll be to me a common day. Ama say, obi to me call example na me you 1 whole day without food. Now say, what's what about more day? Say, obi to me 1 square meal a day. Now say, we should send you flowers and say thank you.
Okay. All right, yo.
It doesn't work that way.
Mate. Now also some company my office Ghana ye seek a bit me assume there. Even if you give more than 10. You bet me assume.
Before I'm about Hanoma.
I'm just giving you a minute.
Yes.
Me also me kwa man so.
Some inaccuracies be okay. As at 2017 NDC about AZT. Ghana was growing at a paltry 3.4%.
Okay.
The same period as at 2025 our MPP handed over to NDC. We're growing at 7.2%. Say inherited 3.4%. Now it means 12% base pay at the time. We were expecting say at least they should have gone beyond that 12.5% point. But they inherited an economy that is growing at 7.2%, and yet they sent us back to 10%. Or can I say, now we are under IMF conditionalities. In 2017, it was the same thing. The MPP inherited an IMF economy, but yet we were able to give Ghanaian workers what will give them a very decent livelihood. At the end of the day, he was not able to deal with issue now on the table. So, figures in the at the end of the day, what is on record? And said the government said Ghana by Juma FOA, base pay no 10% per any as at December 2024, it was around 23, 24, 25%. We have gone back. That is a prima facie issue.
The question is, almost 2 more than 10. Oshe Ghana, bet me have Kuramudi.
Ghana, bet me a Kuram. Omoko campaign. These are the things they told Ghanaians. And at the time they were making those promises, nobody held a gun at them. Omunim newo kitinum. They knew, or they ought to know, what was in the kitty before they made such promises to us Ghanaians. Okay. Omo kachre say Ghana okomode. Abano eye insensitive. Amanfo e de dokono ene nchenam eko parliament eko kachre Ghana for say dokono boaye den. Na ye 1 cedi. Afi ye ton 10 cedis. Nti monto abaman ye ba ye bete so. These were the messages they sold to the good people of this country. Okay. They told us workers say MPP are buying nti monto man ye ba will make your conditions better. But now, on the face of it, prima facie, they are making our condition worse. Okay. From 23% over to 10%. It means wakoechi. Okay. And niama Ghana for any anje nia their representatives at the negotiation table. Okay, ebikura ebo mosombo. So omokoye no omantimi anka omasemu ye. Na mumu enye sanete. This is what the government has decided to give the good people of this country.
Mate, mamemfa me announce me phone lines na membra. 03022117001 03022117001 and 03022211702 and 03022211703 free. Now you're ending come on the issues that we've discussed here. Yes, Gov't.
Okay, but I think I need to add a bit to it. The highest growth MPP
in a minute.
Our experience was in 2017. They had nothing to do with that economy.
Okay.
They had absolutely. It's just like all the mess that is happening this year. is all about their economy that they left for us. All these bills that we are paying, one responsibility. That was the highest they got.
Okay.
There was a major shift in the economy in 2017, and that is the addition of 2 oil wells. If you look at the non-oil growth there, then it's like they have done nothing. In fact, we grew negatively for 2 years. If you take away the non-negative growth, we grew negatively from 2023, 2022, we grew negatively. The non-oil growth. Meanwhile, the oil revenue they have, we had only 1/3 of it. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it is important. Yes. And that is why, or they catch Ghana for so there. The level with which you have put, in fact, I was watching Joy News when they were putting this slide up, and I'll show it to you. When they put this slide up, you know what they said? They said, this is the inheritance, the big the inheritance from the MPP administration. It is agreed that we inherited these debts and all these abysmal financial position that we are in from the previous administration. And do you know that they were very prudent in paying coupons after the haircut? No, haircut no one can say average obedience case about man 120%. Now I say obey here in 2 years time. So 2 conditions I'm imposing on you. This year 20% and 30% mean for mobile. Mama only 12%.
Okay.
And also non-channel. I will extend it for 1 year.
My announcement lines. But who I will share Nnawotwe and over to my friend. Now you know a ding come. Me enti wajen 0302 211701 and 0302 211702 0302 211703. Friend na you know any enti was wajen enche na yes sorry ejumadi nso to friend. Na yenti was one the my yes.
And you know, based on that, you know, when they introduce the haircut, don't forget, latter part of 2023 and only 2024, because we're going into an election, they were very prudent in coupon payment. As at the time of war free abemuno, the fund that the debt servicing fund had only 155.4 million.
Mesha, good morning. We have a call. Mami to agent. But it tell mommy why. Okay, so yeah, Mesha ke oho. Also bet me friend mo wofra pacho but it tell mommy o ya no din 30 seconds ko be bo ami. Obo din baby ofre na waka wadwen straight na afede ya call your name. Mami nhwe we e wa ha me ko Facebook ko hwe sem menya. If we have a comment on the streaming and we
okay,
Bonnie. Hello, Bonnie. Good morning.
Good morning, Apo.
Me hoya mami ti otewe.
Me kasafa file on kaka.
O kasafa efa de ho.
File no.
File.
Salary.
Salary. Okay, mami ti.
Yeah, NDP ni eka wono. Won se ejulapa na mo ye wono na mo ya aka no. Sika no. Ya NDP be kenya afa. Ndi sika ni afa, obede na we increase sign na more than 23%.
Yo.
Sika ni na NDP campaign wakase oba dokun fancy for better so. Wakasa yo, yeah, that's it. My infant and Nabonso matching, I mean, you. When you're bringing area, my uncle,
and cows over.
Bring your man talk. Anyway, I'm going to show up. I don't know how to see. I'm saying, Miss Owen, you never and I don't want to. I can't make and say, I'm sure you're for here. And some way Ghana for, would you have a promo Ghana for, say, a cut the Ghana for Mr. Canada, and also your two about your LCP administration. And this is what Ghana mean for your you. You're Ghana near Patty and say, and the Smith with Mobile at 70. The political member once is dollars, not the blood. No, can you submit me? The local government wants to know.
Kwakumensa medase mama nana bonso mama fa kwakumensa me chiao
na yo so
mama tie hotel wa emre ne ko
yo ne kaka ne pese ne tumi ka kire na yo so yo ne me pese ne kire ma ji ane se mpeni fo mi no na mo cho ma ji obi a ji kire na ya ji tum papa na mo Ghana for ekoto aba December 7.
okay
and you say aba ba ko no to see mpeni bio and ada hofra aba enti me papa na o cho na o share state na o kata ne friend bebre yen ye di tumi di amount say o mo kre so enti bibia wo ho no ma ye so mo ye na boa o man no o mo ja blame game tin say MPP guy say MPP guy say ye mpese be MPP MPP na wo so enti e tre no ye nyoma bi o mo ye bi ano hwe
yo,
thank
you. Menso me da say and I know your mother language there into woman come as a mother language mama bem na aye one mama zema mbamba ne bobo anda mo be kra me wo Adom TV so Francis Ewua me de ka besa wa jamra me se mo pa meze Charles Stevens ma wa agona da former assemblyman Mr. Baba and thank you for my ever mam's and work remwa Nana Pedu Bawa Gunada Mr. Moza son Eric or say my way masua Mr. Moza in fact and the man more mobile crame or Ghana Kashania abrochima you say I'm the one ye warm modern cake make a woman and that kavada kevra the cabra mawo more in liquor underneath that's very important oh yeah near work crash said in delay nabo wo udaba ha mabanda na mtika baka fande ane ma homa mpaka me awya ba ha da be reba because yede ndele iske se yake kire enwo kra ya erebe ni anda po ni mire kement mo ka baza yo banasco o aso misema banasco mo no ye misema bo ba ba obia ma tono kakra ba me so de kakra ba otrim eye de mo ake chi de for seconds ba mo 20 seconds was 20 seconds then van wrap up 20 seconds
but penino kasa ya no o chatro no o chatro to no what let's say ato abaman ati say wo fie na busuan panin wo fie na busuan panin di abusuan fie no akosia wowa abobosia na enum si no yatu abusuan panin no enu nkyere say yatu no no ne kan ne ko ye
yo mate
e kan wo ho enti no say ye bi wo abusuan ni ma o say ka si ye
20 seconds na aso
ye ntua kan no e baba ba di abusuan fie
mate me da say yes
ne ka ne se Ghana for ya se afem ya ndu ye ho se ya tu aban agu we were expecting salary based pay increment it has decreased na no baby amete importema amete me madasumu Ghana for worried Ghana for ya je omo ejuma under article 24 Ghana ni bia wo ho right under article 24:1 say ye be ye ejuma ya je omo ejuma wie no kwa brane atwe pen tintintin asan ne nkrata se entwe omo nyina enkotena fie. These are not the things Ghanaians voted for.
All right, yo.
Ghanaians voted for better things to happen to them.
Mate, yo. Medase, on behalf of my production team led by Ra AC Ohene Walanyo and your director on duty, your camera for your sound and the social media team, your Medase, from Samuel Kojo Brace. Yamud Kabala Nadia and Dania Kanda Kremisam Dozro, Iluake, Madamazeju. Kama moya kaya dia kwa kama anda ko ya yunu yaza anda ni sai kama dale. Thank you very much. We'll meet again, God willing. Nyame adom a na wo hwe de enemy. Nyame hyira yina.